Hello, brothers and sisters out there. How you doing this lovely week that God has made? How you doing? Your brother Tony is in the house. Come on in, my brothers and sisters. We got some good content tonight, and I hope that you can get something out of it. I hope that you all had a very, very good day. Come on in. Don't sit in the back, come to the front. We got plenty of chairs in the front, so don't stay in the back. Come close to the front so we can have this intimate setting, my brothers and sisters. It's family time. Come on in. How you doing, Sister Robertson? How you doing? I see you, John Hancock down there. Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. We're going to give a few more people an opportunity to join our show tonight. Come on in, family. Come on in. I hope that you're enjoying the music of my brother Genesis. He be kicking us off every night. Come on in, so we can get to it. I have been looking forward to discuss this particular topic. Yes, indeed. Some of you brothers, some of you sisters, you need to know something about some brothers, not our brother. I'm going to say that again. Not our brother, but there are some brothers that have a problem with women. And they don't have to be men on men. We talk about some straight men. There are some straight men that have a problem with women. We're not talking about men that are into other men. We're talking about straight men that have a problem with some women. We're going to touch on some points why these guys have a problem with women. So come on in, my brothers. Come on in, my sister. How you doing, Sister Deborah Lee Scott? I see you, John Hancock, down there. Come on in. Well. How you doing, my brothers? How you doing, my sisters out there? I hope that you all had a great holiday. I hope that you all had a good weekend, and now we on the beginning of a new week that the Lord has made. How you doing? If this is your first time and opportunity to see this particular broadcast, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer. And what am I about? I'm about talking about relationship, my brother and sister. When I talk about relationships, I talk about relationship of that of a man and a woman, male and a female, from a biblical standpoint or perspective. When you look in the book of Genesis, God started the world off with one man and one woman. He had a unique relationship with this one man, that man being Adam, and then he had a unique relationship with this woman that's called Eve. God represented the woman to the man because he took one of the bones out of the man's rib and he formed the woman around the man. So that's what I mean, that he represented the woman to the man. And at the particular time, the man Adam said in front of God, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I shall call her woman because she came from man. Adam put a title on this female being, which is woman, okay? If you believe in any other type of relationship, my brother and sister, you can do whatever you choose to do. But if you look at this particular broadcast, I talk strictly about the relationship of that between a man and woman. I encourage you to look at the broadcast because, believe me, you can really get something out of it, okay? But remember, you have a free will. But if you're looking at this particular broadcast, it's strictly about the male and female. With that said, my brother and sister, we're about to get into tonight's content. Tonight's, we're going to talk about why do some men look down on and tell other men to avoid women. Again, why do some men, listen to what I say, some men, not all men, I'm not putting all men into a bucket. Why do some men look down and tell other men to avoid women? There's a reason why. Now, let's go to the book of Proverbs. We're going to lay the foundation before we get into the content. You all know that I have to lay the foundation down first before I get into the content. We are going to go into the book of Proverbs. And when we go into the book of Proverbs, we're going to go to Proverbs 31. It basically talks about a virtuous woman, okay? But we're going to focus on three verses, okay? We're going to focus on three verses, and that's 10 through 12 from Proverbs 31. Again, this Proverbs 31, 10 through 12. Listen carefully, my brothers and sisters, especially you brothers. Who can find a virtuous woman? That's the question that King Solomon was inspired to write. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. This is the beginning part of a woman that's a virtuous woman. And as the Bible say, who can find a virtuous woman? Remember, there was a scripture that the Bible clearly say that a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. So in order for a man to find a good woman or a virtuous woman, this woman has to be handpicked by the Lord. And when this woman is handpicked by the Lord is going to put that woman right in the direction of that man so that man can see the woman. And as I always say, men do not chase or run after women. God bring a good woman to a man. If a man chasing a woman or pursuing a woman, he's like a hunter, and a man of God does not hunt women. A man of God might go out there and hunt wildlife, but a man of God does not run and pursue after women. A man of God have himself together with God. He has his purpose in life. He know who he is, why he's here, and where he's going. And therefore, when a man have an established relationship and a unique relationship with God, God would tend to the desires of that man's heart, and God was going to bring the right woman into that man's viewpoint. That's how it go from God's standpoint. It's not no surprise. It's just a formula. God always bring a woman to a man. And example of a virtuous woman, and you are so familiar with this lady. She's in the Bible. A book is wrote about her. We're not talking about Esther. Esther was a virtuous woman, but we're going to focus on the other woman that one of the books of the Bible was talking about. That is Ruth. A lot of you all are familiar with Ruth. You all know the background of Ruth. You know, and you all know about the man that she got married to. As you know, my brother and sister, God set up a circumstance. He used a circumstance to bring Ruth to Boaz. Boaz did not go looking for Ruth. Let's get that clear. He did not go looking for Ruth. God used circumstance to bring Ruth into a position where Boaz were able to see her. So that's how God does now. Whenever a man is given a good woman, and it's given, it's a gift. A man that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, and obtain favor from the Lord. So anytime a man gets a good woman, he obtains favor from the Lord. It's not by luck. It's not by chance, but a man obtains favor from the Lord, and the Lord handpicked the woman and bring the woman to a man. So, brothers, you need to stop running after women. You need to get yourself together with God. Sister, you need to have a relationship with God, and God going to work it out if you have a desire for a relationship. Now, this show, my brother and sister, is about, how should I say it? This show is not about lifting women up. Let me get this clear. This show is not about lifting women up. Neither is this show about bringing men down. So two things I'm coming. And you know when I talk about relationship, my brother and sister, I talk about men and women depending on the content. I might focus more on one gender than the other, but you know I'm going to bring the other in. But I'm telling you, at this particular show, this show is not to lift women up over men. It's not that. So let's get it clear. And it's not to beat down on men. But we're going to talk about some men, not all men. We're going to talk about some men that they look down on women, and they encourage and tell other men to avoid women. Why do they do this? But it is a reality that there are some men that look down on and tell other men to avoid women. But we got to get to the nitty gritty. Why do some of these men do that? Some of you right now, you really can't believe this. Some of you brothers and sisters that are looking at this right now, you can't believe that a straight man, a heterosexual man, have a problem with women. You probably can believe that there's some heterosexual men that talk down to men. How you doing, Sister Val? You might could believe that, but do you believe that there are some heterosexual men that try to teach and encourage other men about avoiding women? So we're going to talk about these certain type of men. There are some men that you might know of, but if you want to get a good picture, go to YouTube. Go to social media. You're going to find out there are a lot of men that have a problem with women. I mean, and I'm talking about heterosexual men. We're going to hit on 7 points. What is wrong with some of these brothers? When I said some of these brothers, I'm not exclusively talking about black men. When I talk about brother, I talk about different races. So this is not a black thing. This go over the spectrum, cause if you go on places like YouTube, or even if you might overhear some men talking about women, but you got to understand there's a reason why some of these men, not all men, me being one, I enjoy women. I enjoy listening to women. I like talking to women, but especially my wife. Now she got the upper hand. But I enjoy because I love talking with my mother. How you doing, Sister Cheryl? I love talking to my sister, my blood sister. I like talking to you, some of you sisters that, you know, we communicate every now and then. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. And God got women down here for a reason. He does. But the question is, why, if God have some created a woman or women, why is it that some men have a problem with a woman when God created a woman? God did not just create a woman just because he was bored. He didn't do that. God had a purpose for creating a woman. So there are some brothers, they have a problem with this. So let's hit on some problems. We got 7 points we're going to make why some men have looked down on women and why they tell other men to avoid women. Number 1. Some men have mama issues. Some men have mama issues. And this have a great effect on some men that grew up. Now listen to what I'm about to say. Listen exclusive to what I'm about to say. A lot of these men that have problem with women, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of these men grew up in a single home, a single household. A lot of these guys, they grew up in a single household. Some of these guys that grew up in a single household, now this is not no knock against some sister you had a child or children and they grew up with you without a man present. I'm talking about a lot of these guys that have problem with women. I mean, yeah, it's rooted. It's a lot of this come from their beginning. A lot of these guys have mama issues because a lot of these guys, they did not have a male role model. Even if the mama tried to be she was the mother, but no mother can never replace a masculine man. She tried her best. But there are some guys, they grew up in an environment where the mama was not the, how shall I say it, a good role model as far as a woman goes. Sister Robinson said, wouldn't it make them love women if they were raised with love from their mother? It would help them, Sister Robinson, it would help them, but it depends on what type of mother they was brought up under. That's a key thing. What type of mother was they brought up under? Some mothers, they try to find a role model for their son. If they don't have the father present, there are some women that try to get their sons in programs or whatever, and they try diligently to put their child in a situation where they got positive role models. But there are some women that bring the wrong type of men around their boys. The wrong type of men around their boys. some boys have got molested by the men that the mama brought into the house. Can y'all believe that? There are some women. So it's other than some men, they will prowl and they will mess with this woman's daughters. But there are some men that come into their mother's life, and there are some men that have did some vile things to their sons. And some of the mothers don't even know about it, based on the type of man that mother brought around the son. And some of the mothers, just like some mothers, they realized that this man had messed with their daughters. That's bad. There are some mothers that had some son mess with a man. So the man, he got a problem. As he grew up, he got a problem with his mother because he was not protected. And he got an issue with his mama. So if he would, so that leads to some issues down the road sometime with women. Because he got this stereotype. He based other women based like their mother, but all women aren't the same, like all men aren't the same. Again, these guys did not have a male role model, positive role model in their life. A lot of these boys, they grow up, they are called mama boys. What is a mama boy? A mama boy is a mother that is domineering over her son. She is, and he's very passive. And I know some of you have seen relationships like this. Oh, thank you, Sister Robert. Some of you have seen things like that. There's some mama that very domineering, and they got boys that are very passive. And when I say passive, they are very soft. The mama is very controlling. The mama look at this boy as her meal ticket. She don't want other women to be in her presence, well, in the boy's life. She's going to always be number one. There are some mothers that cause conflict with the boy. When I say with the boy, with any woman that he decided to get down the road in his life. What do I mean by that? I'm going to give you a good example. Let's say this young man, he started liking females, right? And his mama always has something to say about a female. This could be a good woman, but the mama feels threatened. She feels threatened. And when she feels threatened from any woman, especially if this man decides to marry a woman, I got to say something to you brothers right now. If you decide to marry a woman, you can't be no mama boy when it comes to marrying a woman. It comes down to priority. You could love your mama, but when you marry a woman, that woman gets promoted over your mother. How you doing, Sister Flo Harvey Moore? That woman get promoted over your mother in position. Now, your mama will always be your mama, okay? She will always be your mama, but your mama is not one flesh with you. You understand that? Your mother is not one flesh with you. When you get married to a woman, brother, your wife and you become one flesh. Not you and your mama. You don't have sex with your mama. Now, some of you all have. That's another issue too. Do you not know, my brothers, that some mamas, they have sex with their son and mess their son's mind up? Do you all realize that? I know this is not nothing that a lot of people like to bring up. There are some mothers, natural mothers, that have sex with their son. Do you not realize that? Just like some dads have sex with their daughters, there are some mamas that have their sons having sex with them. That mess up some boys' mind. You understand that? It's a reality. But back to the mama boy, brothers. And you see, this is what happened. The mama is so domineering over the man, he cannot take a stand when it comes to a woman, especially when it's wife. So there's conflict with the wife and the mama. So the relationship, the woman that he married to, she might want to walk away from the relationship. So this man have a bad idea why a woman would leave him. So that's why he clings so tight to his mama, and his mama might fill his mind up with, I told you none of them ain't good. No woman ain't good. It's me. I'm going to always be there for you, baby. And so that mess up a man's mind too. So therefore, if a man have a bad experience with women, cause he making the wrong, he putting the wrong priority on his mother over than a woman that's his wife. So he won't be successful in a relationship because he don't know where to divide the line in my mother and a woman that happens to be my wife. That's one way that some men, they look down on women because they look at their mama as the ultimate woman, even though she domineering and she taught him wrong. She let the wrong man come into the house. The man molested the child, or he's a mama boy. He don't understand that his mama have to take a back seat when he gets his wife. Number two, why do some men look down on and tell other men to avoid women? Number two, some men put themselves in a position to be used because they have put a woman or women on a pedestal and not Jesus. You understand that? There are some of you brothers, some of you I might be talking to right now, some of you brothers, you messed up because you put a woman or women above Jesus in your life. You made a woman or women your idol when it should be Jesus is your idol. So when you put a woman or women on a pedestal instead of Jesus, these type of women, they run over you. Case in point, Samson and Delilah. Samson and Delilah. And you are familiar with the story. Samson put Delilah up before the Lord. He put Delilah on a pedestal other than the Lord. Another example, King Solomon, the wisest man to ever live. He put many women over the Lord. So when a man put a woman or women over the Lord, and they put these women on a pedestal, that's the wrong person to put or people to put. So when you put women or a woman over the Lord, when these women start giving you problems, you going to go through some changes in your life. And if you get hurt very bad by a woman or women, a lot of these men, they're going to talk to other men and say, hey, don't mess with these women because they ain't no good. You understand? That's what they're going to say. These women aren't no good. The reason why I'm no good, these brothers won't tell these other men, I put a woman or women on a pedestal. That's why it went bad for me. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. They're just going to say how bad a woman treat them or mistreat them. You can't trust them. Number three, some men thought that they can buy love from the wrong woman or women, and they got used. Now they are bitter. There are some men, they thought that they could buy love. They thought that they could buy the woman's love. They thought if I buy this for her, if I help her do this, she would be mine. I'm buying her with my money. I'm buying her with things. So when it doesn't work, when the man investing money into the woman, he buying her thing, he at her beck and call all the time, and then she end up ghosting him or going with another man, he has a problem with it. That's a good thing what you put up there, Sister Flo, Ahab and Jezebel. That is a good, thank you, Sister Flo. That's some free information. Thank you. What Sister Flo is talking about, you all have heard of Jezebel, right? And Ahab. Jezebel, you all familiar with her, she was a domineering woman. Ahab was a weak-backed man. Jezebel ran the show. She was a queen. Ahab was a king. If you look at it from a royal standpoint, my brother and sister, when a king and queen is married, listen carefully. The king runs the providence, not the queen. It's the king. The king runs the providence, not the queen. The only job that the queen has is to be like an advisor. She advises him. She give him counsel. She's supposed to give him wise counsel, but she don't run the kingdom. The king's supposed to make the final decision should we go to battle or not. I'm going to give you all a situation. If you all have seen the movie 300, if any of you have seen the movie 300, that was this guy, and I think his name was, I don't want to say it wrong, but if you all seen the movie, it was this guy, and he had a wife. And the Persians came up against him, right? So this guy came, and he was trying to get this king to give over his kingdom so it won't be no war. So what this man did, he looked at his wife. And his wife looked at him, and she nodded at him, and he could read her body language. So he turned to this man and said, you came over here to disrespect my home and my wife and all that kind of stuff. So he didn't play with that man. A real king, he would listen to the queen, but he makes the final decision, because when he makes the final decision, the king will go up and down based on the king's final word. Jezebel and Ahab, that's a different situation. Jezebel ran the kingdom. Ahab, weak back Ahab did not. Now let me get back to the topic. Thank you, Sister Flo Harvey Martin. Now, these men, they think when they buy women or they do things for women, a lot of time, some of these men, they don't understand. When you understand that you can't buy love, you can buy like, but you can't buy love. And what a lot of these brothers start realizing, they start feeling that they're used, right? No, they don't feel it. They know that they're being used. So when they call themselves pulling back, the ladies start contacting them. They either go ghost or they go somewhere else. Then they get bitter. They get bitter at the woman. Then they tell other men, don't mess with women, because all they do is want to use you. All women, they'll even say this, all women come with their hands out, because they made the wrong decision because they thought they could buy love. Brothers, if you out there, you can't buy love with no money or no resources. You could get a whole lot of likes. You can get a whole lot of women. But a man, brother, if you're listening to me, a woman's supposed to love you for who you are, not for what you have. You got to always remember that, for who you are. And I have told you, brothers, this. When you're going out with a woman or you're getting to know a woman, you don't ever tell a woman everything what's going on with you. You tell her some pertinent stuff, but you don't tell a whole bunch of women about your finances. You don't try to show off with your finances. Because however you started, when you dating, that's what that woman going to expect. You can't take no woman to Ruth Chris, and then after you take her to Ruth Chris, you want to scale back and take her to Burger King? No. You start where you at, and you get to know the woman. You don't tell everything, because there are some bad women out there. Not all women. There are some bad women. So some of you brothers, you did so much in a negative way, and you open up the portfolio, and now they know everything. That's why some women, they come to you because of what you have, not for what you are. Well, who you are. And when you stop, they gone. And now you telling other men, don't mess with them, because they ain't nothing but gold diggers. That's what some of you brothers do. That's bitter. You say, now they gold diggers. Don't mess with none of them. Nope, don't. You see, you made the wrong decision. Now you preaching to other men. Number 4. Some of you men, you put 100% trust in the wrong woman or women. You put 100% trust in the wrong woman or women, and you got betrayed. Do you understand that? I use the word 100%. This goes for men and women. I have said this before. No man or no woman put 100% trust in either gender. No man supposed to put 100% trust in a woman. No woman don't supposed to put 100% trust in a man. Reason why? Because you're dealing with a human man and a human female. A man and woman, you put only 100% trust in God. Now, you can have a high level of trust in the person, especially if you're married to a person. You got to have trust now, but not 100% trust. Brother Henry said, a woman that wants your money or waiting for the higher bidder. That's right, brother. They're waiting for the higher bidder. They'll dump you, brothers, out there, and they'll go to the higher bidder, the one that got the shiniest coin. Now, why do I say this? Why do I say don't put 100% trust in a woman or women? I say this because it's biblical. What I'm saying is biblical. Some of you saying, Tony, you got a problem. You mean to tell me, Tony, that you don't trust your wife, Tequessa, or you call her your Cinderella, but you mean to tell me, Tony, you don't trust your wife 100%? And does she trust you 100%, Tony? You don't trust your wife 100%? Here's my answer. My answer is this, and I have said it before. When you go to Micah chapter 7, verse 5. Again, it's M-I-C-A-H, chapter 5. Chapter 7, verse 5. Micah, M-I-C-A-H, chapter 7, 5. This is what God's words say. This is not what Tony's words say. I just work at station GOD. So I'm about to report the news. Listen carefully. In Micah chapter 7, verse 5, it say this. Don't trust anyone. This God's word. Don't trust anyone. You brother, this also comes with that scripture. It said, not your best friend. This for brothers and sisters. It said, not your best friend and not brother, even your wife. God's word say this. This is not Tony. Tony just reporting the news from station GOD. And also, sisters, don't start wiggling your head like that. It also means the same thing, sister. Don't trust your husband 100%. So that's my answer. Do I trust my wife 100%? No. No. Do she trust me 100%? No. She better not. Should I trust her 100%? No, I better not. But I have a high level of trust for her, and she have a high level of trust for me. You know why? Because the Bible clearly said, Micah 7, 5. Don't trust anyone. You can have a high level of trust for people, but not 100%. Even when it comes to your mate. Those of you that got a best friend. I know a whole bunch of you said you got a best friend, but the Bible also covered that. After it said don't trust anyone, the Bible said not your best friend. For those of you that got a best friend, you better not trust your best friend 100%. And then it said, or even your wife. Some of you brothers, you like to do a whole lot of pillow talk, don't you? When everything have gone on right, and you know what I'm talking about, you want to open up and tell everything, don't you? Everything you want to tell. Some of you women, you want to tell everything, but some of you brothers, let me tell you this. And tell your wife everything. Tell her everything. You get a divorce, it can be used against you. It can be used against you. You know when you was young, brother, and you went to the ATM machine and you and your boy hit it, and then you all then you invested in a car wash or something like that. You lay down there. That happened when you was young. You 50 years old now. You laying there with your wife telling her, right? You did that when you was a teenager, right? And you got away with it. You thought you got away with it, right? So you laying in the bed, you feeling good, and you tell, well, when I was 16, I went by this ATM machine and I hit that ATM machine. And she laying there. You did what? Yeah, I hit the ATM. Then, cause your relationship rocky anyway. Now it's time for a divorce, and she want everything from you, right? So she want everything from you. Then her lawyer and her come to you, hey, you remember when you were 16 and you got away and you hit that ATM machine? I'm just giving you some realistic examples, okay? That's some realistic example. Some of you brothers, you messed up. You supposed to, what the point is, you only trust Jesus 100%. Brothers and sisters, only Jesus. Not your best friend, not your mama, not your daddy, not your brother, not your sister, not your child. Don't ever put 100% trust in nobody, because if you put 100% trust in anyone, if that person disappoints you or that person hurt you, you will have a problem forgiving them. That's why I said don't do 100%. Not on the Bible, but I'm being practical. If you are in a relationship with someone and that person hurt you or do something that you think he or she wouldn't do, you will have a problem forgiving them. Why? Because you put them on the pedestal where only Jesus at. It's better to have a high level of trust so it could be easier for you, my brother and sister, to forgive someone. Okay? Number 5, why some brothers tell other men not to look down on women and they avoid women. It's called divorce rape. What do I mean by divorce rape? The court system, 70% of women file for divorce. That's a fact. 70% of divorces in the United States of America are filed by women. So some of these guys, they went into the marriage. Because let me tell you something, my brother and sister. Realistically, if God did not put you together, if God did not put the man and woman together, you got together for another reason. Most marriages in the United States of America, God did not put it together. The relationship that God puts together, if that man know who he is, why he here, and he's following the Lord, and then this woman over here, she's doing the same thing. She know who she is, why she here, and she following the Lord. When God bring that woman to the man, that is a relationship that God put together. Other than that, most men and women, they get married because they got a strong emotional feeling towards the person. That person have good sex. Different reason why different people. That's a financial investment. What does he or she bring to the table? That's why a majority of people get married. Because of the feelings and what he or she brings to the table. Majority relationships aren't put together by God. Only a few. How you doing, Brother Larry? Only a few put together by God. So some of these brothers, when they go to court, because they ended up marrying the wrong woman. So when they done married the wrong woman or women. So they have a bad experience in the legal system. The legal system appear to side with the woman. We talk about United States of America. There are some exceptions where the legal system, depending on what that man got in his legal team, they may side with him. But for the most part, the legal system side with the woman when it comes to a divorce. Because like I said, 7% of divorces are filed by women. So these men, they think that they have been divorce raped. What do I mean by divorce rape? I mean this. They think that a woman come in and she snatch a whole bunch of his assets away from him. And then he be left with a whole bunch of liabilities. And you all know assets are what you own. Liabilities are what you owe. So the man think, I'm going to court and this woman is railroading me. I brought all this stuff into the relationship, material stuff. Now she coming in and she getting half of my stuff, especially if you're in California. Especially in California, because it's basically 50-50 in California. But she getting everything that I worked for before her. That's how some men be thinking. I had all this before I married her. She didn't have nothing. She coming in and she taking half of what I got, and lo and behold, don't have no children. And more than likely, and he bitter because she got the children too. So she getting alimony. She getting child support, and then she getting part of the asset. That's what make a lot of men bitter. I'm going to tell you this, brother, before you got into the relationship, if God didn't put you together, you should have handled the relationship like it was a business. Since God did not put you and that woman together, you should have operated like it's a business. What do I mean by that? You should have got a prenup if God did not put you together, but you weren't thinking like that. You were thinking other ways. So if God didn't put you together, do it the world's way. The world is into the prenups and stuff. So you wouldn't think that you got divorce rate. That's right, Sister Robinson. Real women bring something to the table. The most important thing that a real woman brings to the table is a virtuous woman. Proverbs 31. That's the best description of a woman coming to a relationship. The Proverbs 31 woman. Is she perfect? No. Will she follow her faith? Yes. Is the man perfect? No. Will the man follow his faith? Yes. A Proverbs 31 woman, and you are familiar with it. If you're not, I advise you, I suggest you check it out. It is a profile of the model woman. When I didn't say modern woman, I said the model woman. A good example of a Proverbs 31 woman is, I'm going to name some women and you all can identify with these women. Sarah, Abraham's wife, she was a virtuous woman. Now, every woman that I'm about to name, they had flaws, okay? But they were virtuous women. Abraham's wife, she was a virtuous woman. Ruth was a virtuous woman. Mary, that married Joseph, was a virtuous woman. Going back to the Old Testament, Esther was a virtuous woman. Those are some women that had the characteristic of a virtuous woman. That did not mean that they didn't fall on their face sometimes, but they were the perfect picture. When I said perfect, I don't mean flawless. Perfect means complete. It don't mean flawless. It means complete. So those are some women that were and is a model of the virtuous woman. Some of you sisters that listening to me right now, you are a virtuous woman. But you got to get that in your head. You got to get this in your head, sister. You are a virtuous woman, especially. Sister, if you are a follower of God through his son, Jesus Christ, you are a virtuous woman. Why are you a virtuous woman? Because you have been washed in the blood of the Lamb, which is Jesus the Christ. So you are a virtuous woman. Especially you single women, you are a virtuous woman if you follow the Lord. That's the key thing. You're not a virtuous woman if you're not following the Lord. A man could tell whether you're a virtuous woman or not. I always say a man could tell whether or not he want to be in a long-term relationship or not. We know whether you married material or not. Men know virtuous women. A foolish man, he will pick a bad woman, like Delilah. Delilah could have been a beautiful looking woman. Jezebel could have been a beautiful looking woman, but they was wicked. It got something to do with character. Not reputation, it's character. Brother, that's why a lot of you brothers are messed up, because you chose a Jezebel. You chose a Delilah, and you got railroaded. Now you poisoning other men, talking about all women aren't nothing. The only thing a woman is for, how some brothers say, the only thing a woman is for is only for sex, or to cook me a meal, clean my clothes. Sister, I have said it before, and some of you brothers have heard me say something before. There are some men, they look at women as an object. Sister Robinson said, do you think all pastors marry a virtuous woman? No. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Thank you, Sister Ross, for bringing that out. I'm going to go back to the Old Testament. There was this certain guy. And do you all know what this guy's name is? He married a woman named Gomer. Do you know the man? His name was Hosea. Hosea, he was a prophet of God, Old Testament. Now, this is going to be real tricky. Listen to me carefully. Don't listen to me. Don't hear me. Listen to me. God told Hosea to marry Gomer. Who is this woman, Gomer? And you know we ain't talking about Gomer Pyle, you all. We talk about a woman that actually name was Gomer. God told Hosea to marry Gomer. Who is this Gomer? Gomer was a woman that did community service. What do I mean by community service? Gomer was a lady of the streets. Gomer was a woman that did some prostitution. Gomer was one of those women that liked to twerk. She was a party girl. That's who Gomer was. She was a party girl. Gomer was doing twerking back there probably. I could just imagine Gomer doing some twerking back there. There was no Facebook or nothing. So Gomer probably was twerking, getting old man's all hot. And she probably was a party girl. She probably used to like to hold the boiler up and drink and talk loud and all that kind of stuff. She probably dressed provocative in a provocative way, showing her breasts, showing her body, showing her butt, everything. That was Gomer. She was that type of woman. God told Hosea to marry that woman. Can you imagine, brother, God telling you to marry a party girl, a woman that like to hold the ball up, a woman that now, some of these women now, they think it's so cool to be smoking those cigars. Have you all been seeing on Facebook these women that smoke the cigar, they be in these cigar clubs and they think it's cool? All they doing is getting that stinky breath with the that's all. They looking good, but they got the stinky cigar breath. And you all have seen them. You know what I mean? They think it's cool, but ain't nothing cool about having stink breath or stank breath. It ain't nothing cool about it. But anyway, some of you, God told Hosea to marry Gomer. The natural man would say, God, why would you have me to marry a party girl? Why would you have me to marry a community lady that does community service? Why would you have me to do a prostitute? I'm going to tell you why God did that, okay? The reason God did that, God was using Hosea and Gomer as an example. Some of you saying, what kind of example? God was using Hosea in his place. So what God was doing is say, if I could forgive you, man and woman, you should forgive other people. You understand? That's what God was saying. God was using Hosea and Gomer as an example. So if God can forgive us like Jesus can forgive us, which is the church. The church is a group of called out people. So if Jesus forgive the church, and in the church, it's a group of called out people. So everybody in the church have fell on his or her face, right? So that is the example of Hosea and Gomer. That's why he told Hosea to go marry Gomer. And not only that, when he married Gomer, guess what? Gomer got bored and she went back to the streets. Gomer wanted to do some more twerking. Gomer wanted to sell some stuff, and you all know what I'm talking about. Gomer wanted to show her breasts again. Gomer wanted to show her butt. Gomer wanted to smoke a cigar and get the stink breath. That's what Gomer wanted to do. But God told Hosea, go back and get her. Can you imagine Hosea saying, look, Lord, I took the woman out of the street one time, and you want me to go back? God said, go get her. So when Hosea had to go get her this time, Gomer had a pimp. She had a pimp. He just could not go get her this time. he had to pay a price. So he had to pay the pimp to get his wife back. What does that mean? When Jesus died for us, my brother and sister, Jesus spilled his blood. So when Jesus purchased the church, he purchased it with his blood. So Jesus redeemed us back. You understand? Jesus' blood redeemed us. It's just like when you go to a pawn store and you take something there, it belongs to the person at the pawn shop until you pay for it. You call that you redeeming your item. So that's why God used that illustration by Hosea and Gomer, that he forgives you even when you go back to the streets and mess up. So that's why he used the example of Hosea and Gomer. Number 6, why do some men look down on and tell other men to avoid women? Number 6, if a woman, and these some brothers that take a scripture very wrong, if a woman isn't submissive 100%, she needs to speak only when spoken to. But the man is not in a submission role to God. There are a lot of men, they'll take this scripture about a woman supposed to submit, right? She got to submit. She got to submit. Some of these guys, they are dictators, right? When some of these guys that are dictators, and then they run into a woman, they want the woman to, when he say jump, how you want me to jump? They want a woman that come to them and don't say nothing but bow their heads down and say, "May I speak to you?" It's some deranged brothers out there. They want a woman that be submissive 100%. What do I mean? They are dictators. What does a dictator do? You see, we live in a democracy. Joe Biden is the president. If Joe Biden allows us to be his president, we could talk to him and we could share our opinions, right? But when you in a dictatorship, like if you're over there in North Korea and Russia, you can't, if you get in front of these guys, you can't tell them what you think. You have to listen to what they think. That's the difference. So there are some guys, they are dictators. So they want to use this scripture about a woman supposed to submit, which she does. A woman does supposed to submit. However, the question is whether this man submit. You see, a lot of men that demand that a woman submit to them, a majority of these guys, they don't submit to Christ, which is hypocritical. So they tell these guys, don't get no woman unless she submit to you. The best thing you could do is go overseas and get one of those women that's not go by the Western civilization way of living. So you go to one of these little Vietnam or one of these places over here, or Iraq or something, you get one of those women, right? So you get one of those women because they're going to submit and stuff. You know why those women submit? It ain't about God. It's about their laws over there. They got very controlling laws over there. That's why those women submit, because they know they will get a good butt whooping over there. So you bring those type of women up to the United States, what some of these guys be saying, go get one of those women overseas, and if you want to marry a woman, go overseas and get one. Because what they don't understand, you go overseas and get one of those women, right? You bring her over here. She gonna be looking at TV. She gonna be looking at other women, and she gonna be saying, "Okay, I couldn't do that over in my country, but I'm in the United States now. Hey, I can do my thing." So the woman started out being submissive because she was trained that way, and she was scared up that way overseas. So when she get over here, the home of the free and the brave and all that kind of stuff. So she come over here to the good United States of America, and then she want to take that veil off, and she want to start showing stuff, and then these brothers, they have a problem because she won't submit to them like they thought she would, right? The reason why a lot of brothers, they look down on some women and they tell other men to avoid these women because they won't submit. Some men, they are hung up on submission. But let me tell you, some of you brothers, they got a problem with that. A woman will submit to you, and this is a key thing, If you follow Christ with all of your mind, with all of your will, with all of your emotion, with all of your strength, with all your body, with everything that you have, all of your essence. If you submit to Christ, brother, if you submit to Christ, guess what? Christ is going to bring the right woman to you anyway. And you will be able to use your discernment, because if you're 100% in Christ, you have wisdom. Why you got wisdom? Where you get it from? You got it from Christ, because you prayed for it. In the book of James, it said if you don't have wisdom, ask for it, and God will give it to you. No man or no woman come into this world with wisdom. If you come in, you don't have God wisdom. You have the wisdom of the small God. When I said small God, that's the small G-O-D, the devil, the way of this system. That's the only wisdom you have. No man or no woman has the wisdom of God unless you ask for it. Example, King Solomon asked for wisdom. He's the only man that documented. Other men have asked after that. He's the only man, even though King Solomon made a big boo-boo by dealing with 1,000 women, he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Solomon had wisdom. How did he get it? He prayed for it. And what did God do? God gave him wisdom. And when God gave him wisdom, this is what happened. David was about to die. He made it clear that he wanted Solomon to be the king. Solomon became the third king of Israel. You had Saul, messed up. Then David. David died. But David was called a man after God's own heart. David died. David got the kingdom set up for his son Solomon. Solomon inherited Israel. Solomon did not know how to run the kingdom. What did Solomon do? God came in. While Solomon was asleep, God appeared to Solomon in a dream. He appeared to Solomon in a dream, and his name was Martin Luther King. But he appeared to Solomon in a dream. God asked Solomon, what do you want? What if God appeared to you, my brother and sister? What would most people would say? Give me money. Help me win the lotto. I want to be rich. I want to be healthy and all that kind of stuff. Solomon didn't ask for nothing what the common man or woman would ask for. He didn't ask for none of that. Solomon said, give me an understanding heart. When you ask God for an understanding heart, you are asking for wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to see things from God's point of view. That's what wisdom is. Knowledge is what you have. Wisdom will show you how to apply the knowledge that you have. Once you get wisdom, you have knowledge. And once you have knowledge, you have understanding. And when you have understanding, you have discernment. This is what a lot of men do not have. Those men that look down on women, those men that encourage other men to avoid women, they do not have the wisdom of God. They have the wisdom of the world. Sister Robinson said, I want a godly thug. Okay, sister. They don't have the wisdom of God, which leads to number 7. This is the last point. A man doesn't buy into God. He doesn't buy into God's plan of how important a woman is to a man. The man that talk down about women, the man that tell other men to avoid women, these are the most foolish men to ever come upon the earth. And like I said earlier, I'm not trying to lift women up. I'm not trying to beat men down. But the fact is, it's the truth. The truth is, these men, they do not want to buy into God's plan of how important a woman is to a man. How important, some of you are asking. Tony, what do you mean about these men don't buy into God's plan of how important a woman is to a man? Simple. As Sherlock Holmes would say, it's elementary, Watson. It's elementary. Let's go to the book of Genesis. When we go to the book of Genesis, we go to chapter 2:18. Again, that's chapter 2:18. Chapter 2:18. There was a conversation in heaven. The conversation, it involves God the Father, it involved Jesus Christ, and it involves the Holy Spirit. The Lord had created everything on the sixth day. On the sixth day, God thought, I'm going to, he said, the Lord God say, it's not good for man to be alone. Bam. God said it. These men that you hear say women, look down on women and look at women like they ain't got no sense. They're stupid. They're not usable. You just get a woman to cook your food, clean your house, have sex, and shut up. That's what most men, and be submissive. There we go. Now we're going to put submissive first. The average worldly man, they want a woman to be submissive because they dictators. The next thing they want is a woman that's going to cook. The second thing they want, a woman that's going to clean up. The next thing they want, a woman to have sex. The next thing they want is a woman to shut up. Don't speak to me unless I call you in front of my throne. These dictator type of brothers. When I say dictator type brother, I'm not talking strictly about black men. I'm talking about men of other races. This ain't no black thing. This universal, my brothers and sisters. So these men, they do not want to buy into God's plan. God said, the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. God is the man. When I said the man, we're talking about Jesus, because Jesus was God and the man, but you know what I'm talking about. Every man and every woman was created by Jesus, through Jesus, for Jesus. I'm going to say that again. Every man and a woman, this whole world was created by Jesus. His name wasn't Jesus then. He was just the Lord, okay? Because David said, the Lord said to my Lord. When David said that in Psalm, what was he talking about? Check out now. David said, the Lord said to my Lord. What was he talking about? This is what David was talking about. He was talking about Jesus, his Lord. And he would talk about God the Father. Because David said, the Lord said to my Lord. So David knew priority, he knew rank. So it goes like this, and it's in the Bible clearly. You all look it up. It said that God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man, and man is the head of the woman. So what was David talking about? He acknowledged that it's God the Father, then Jesus. Again, Genesis 2:18, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. So, when God created Adam, guess what God could have done? He could have created another man. He could have created another man. There are some men that said the only thing we need for a woman to do really, since we done built everything, all we need her for is to do that little minor stuff, because they ain't got no sense anyway. We are highly intellectual than women. That's how some guys think we're highly intellectual than women. They don't know nothing. When you listen to them, they talk, it's stupid. They don't bring no value to nothing. That's how some men view you sisters, okay? They don't have nothing. But God And godly men know this, that God created woman because he was not supposed to be alone. When God created Adam and he created Eve, right? He brought Eve to Adam. And then when God brought Eve to Adam, he had both of them in front of him. He needed Adam and Eve to work together. He did not bring another man. He brought a woman. God told both of them, I want you all to reproduce and to have dominion. That's how God wanted it. So God seen a purpose for a woman. As a matter of fact, God created the woman last. Out of everything that God created, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, the woman was created right after Adam. If you have a pie, the woman would be the cherry on top of the pie. Do you understand that? The woman would be the cherry on top of the pie. What do I mean? Everything was completed. Because on the 7th day, God rested. It wasn't that he was tired. Rest means everything was complete. So he didn't have to do nothing else. He did everything that he wanted and needed to do within those 6 days, and he rested on the 7th. So don't think God get tired. He doesn't. He's in eternity. So, some of the brothers, if you're listening to me right now, those of you that teach men to look down on women and you tell other men to avoid women, you are in a bucket called the fool's bucket. What do I mean by the fool's bucket? Capital FOOLS. You do not understand. You don't know God. You heard about him, but you don't know him. Because if you knew him, you would look at a woman as she has a spirit, she has a soul, she has a body. What most of you all focus on, her body. That's the farthest some of you guys could see a woman, just her body. You so focused on her body. Okay, let's say that some of you brothers that just focus on a woman's body. Okay, let's say this woman has sex with you. After this woman has sex with you, what comes after that? What comes after that? Most of you, when you have sex with a woman, that's all you want. That's all you want. You want to bust a cap. That's all you want to do. And once you do that, you want to discharge the woman. But you don't want nobody to discharge your sister, do you, brothers? You don't want nobody to do that to your daughter, do you, brother? Nope. But you want to do that to somebody else's sister. You want to do that to somebody else's daughter, but that's hypocrisy. Most of you, mama boy, y'all don't want no man to treat your mama. Let's say your mama is a widow. You don't want no other man coming using your mama like that, do you? You don't want no other man that come and use your mama for her body with you. You don't want nobody use your mama, do you? But you don't mind using somebody else's mama. A lady that's already got a child or children. You don't mind using their mama, do you? It's hypocrisy. I don't care, some of you brothers, that if you don't want to talk to me no more. I don't care. I don't care if you unfriend me. I don't care. Only those that follow God know what I'm talking about. Are there any bad women? Yes. Are there any bad men? Yes. There are bad men and there are bad women. There are unholy men and there are some unholy women. So, the point that I'm making tonight is, brothers, when you talk about women in the right content. What you should say, if you can't say nothing good about a woman, just don't say nothing at all. Focus on those women that are virtuous women. If it's something that you got to say bad about a woman, just don't say nothing at all. And you don't know, most of you guys, you don't know what a good woman is anyway. You don't know because you don't allow God to bring the right woman to your life. So that's why a lot of you brothers are bitter towards women. You're so bitter towards women, you want other men to avoid women because you did not do it God's way. It's that simple. It's that elementary. You did not go to God. You did not allow God to bring the right woman into your life. That's why you butthurt. And with that said, my brothers and sisters, I hope that you all have a good night. I hope that you all got something out of it. Like I said earlier, this is not to elevate a woman. This is not to beat down on no brother. This is just straight to the point. Brothers, do not talk down about women because you got a mama, you got a sister or a daughter. If you got something bad to say, don't say it at all, and don't try to spread your attitude on other men, especially these young guys, to influence them to look at women in a negative way. Now, there are some bad women like there are some bad men. Just use your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, and your discernment. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Peace out.